So my guest today is from the UK, actually. And so we're going to do a little bit something different on today's interview. With me today, I've got a real estate agent from the UK, Mr. Andrew Holgate. Andrew, welcome to the show, my friend.
Mate, it's an absolute honor to be here today. So thank you very much for taking your time.
Absolutely. And so what I want to do today, Andrew, is talk about the UK real estate market and how it works. You know, what's different between the UK and the US, and how you're building your business, and maybe some takeaways that you've got from some of the things that I teach and how you're applying that to the UK market. So to start things off, how long have you been in the real estate business?
So I've actually started off investing in property in the UK. I actually got my first property deal back in September 2019. And only very recently, I started to sell property. I just recently joined a new brokerage called Real Estate. I think just over a month ago, but I've been selling property since about November, December. But obviously with all your teachings and everything, it sounds very much like forward thinking compared to the UK. And I think the UK is very much behind to like the forward thinking, the innovation compared to the Australian and the American market. Hence why when I looked up your videos on YouTube, I was like, this is something we need to implement to the UK, because right now we're very old school, traditional, and I thought it'd be a great way to bounce off ideas, just like in today's session.
I love it. That's great. So that's what I'm excited about, because we're going to talk through all that, right? So that's a really good segue. So let's talk about the relationship between the brokerage and the agent. So how does that work? First off, are you an independent contractor, self-employed, or are you an employee of the firm?
Yeah, so actually, just to actually do a little bit of an overview image. So I think majority of the what you call estate agents in the UK are all on what you call a basic salary, and they get a small commission every time they get a sale. The difference here in the UK is that once you're an estate agent, you actually get a small commission just to get a listing. Well, in our brokerage, I kind of run my own team. It's called Holgate Homes, but we're in partnership with Real Estate. We're
Sure.
actually very much a self-employed model.
Got it.
Very similar to the States, where we only get paid upon we sell a property. Hence why we're very motivated. We're somewhat aggressive. That's why we're really changing the industry by storm. But in the UK, typically people are on a basic salary. All they do is sit in the office. Nobody knows what door knocking is half the time. And only like some of us do it. And it's just completely different when you're talking about real estate agency, which is the American Australian version, and estate agency, where people are employed getting a basic salary plus a commission just to get a listing. It doesn't matter if they sell it or not, they get a commission when they get a listing, which is probably only about 200 to 500 pounds.
Wow. So for frame of reference, so that we're having this dialogue, people can put it into context if they're watching in the US. Pounds versus dollars, give us a framework of what the comparison is there.
Yes, I think around about, so let's say about £1,000 is probably about close to $1,200 to $1,300, give or take.
Okay,
So,
all right.
So if I was in a basic salary, let's say between £16,000 a year, you're probably talking about $13,000 per year pre-tax.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the salary, the average salary for a real estate agent in the UK at one of these agencies?
So is in this self-employed model, it is absolutely uncapped. So
Sure.
we actually, in our model, it's 50% comes to the agent and 50% goes to the brokerage, i.e. the Real Estate we have a partnership with. If you're thinking of the real estate, the estate agency, they have probably about $12,000, $13,000 a year, plus if they're lucky, $150 to $200 every time they get a listing. I have to do a little bit of calculations. We're talking about dollars.
Absolutely. That's okay. That's okay. This is great. So, and let's give the people, what is the average income for somebody just in the UK? Like, what's the average income, regardless of industry? Like in the States, the average income is probably around $45,000 a year. What is it in the UK? Just so we have a framework.
Yeah, so in the UK, you're thinking of an average salary. Let's say people get between £1,000 to £2,000 a year. So you're thinking of between £18,000 to £24,000 a year pre-tax. So obviously in the UK, if you earn more than £50,000, you become a higher taxpayer. But anything less, you're only paying 20% tax.
Got it. So the average salary, so average in the UK is £24,000 per year.
Correct, pre-tax.
Pre-tax. Okay. And so the real estate agent that works at the estate model, what does that average agent make there?
So if you're thinking that it's below the average,
Got it.
salary here in the UK. So obviously that's why I say we're not. It's not so much forward thinking. They're getting really much basic salary of over 1,600 if they're lucky, plus getting small commissions every time.
Got it. Now that model, that brokerage model, it sounds like the brokerage is going out there, generating the lead, bringing in the listing, and then one of the agents at that estate model handles the client, but they're not responsible for going out there and generating any business on their own at all. Is that right?
Well, a little bit the challenge on that, Mark. It's actually they expect the sellers to go to them, to go to their office, to give them a call. I think that's what the American system does, what we do at Title Nash Real Estate. So we actually go out there and look for the business.
Yes.
Because that's what you really want to do. You want to find the business. And that's what I love about, your activity. I know you do in your course, you tell them that you need to do, I know you do a lot of cold calling. Here in the UK, it's really different. People tend to wait for the seller to go to their office and ask for an appointment, ask for a free valuation report. And that's what I mean. It's very different.
That's so interesting. So the normal way, the consumer who wants to buy a house or sell a house, they go seek out a real estate brokerage firm. Then they walk in there and they say, "Hey, can I talk to one of your agents?" That's kind of how it works.
Yes, honestly, it's what you call like high street estate agents, where there are local high street estate agents, the local branches where they just say, give us a call for a free evaluation, and they might go there to listing appointment, or they just walk to the office and ask, I want to see how much somebody's prepared to pay for my house. So it's very different.
Wow. So it's kind of like, it's sort of like our banking system here in the US, where there's little banks in every city, Andrew. And if you want to talk, you just go into the bank. And so it sounds very much so like that. And what you're doing is you're taking the approach of playing offense. You're going out there and focusing on proactive lead generation so you can control your income. Is that right?
Absolutely. I mean, in kind of our brokerage, if you don't get a sale, you don't get paid.
Yes.
And you can probably tell, I mean, I've been doing a lot of statistics, learning how the US works. I think there's only an average of 8% of people only sell 1 or 2 homes every month.
Yep.
And I think that's a system. And obviously for us at the same time, if we don't get a sale, we don't get paid. And obviously later on, I'm sure we're going to be talking about it. Your commission is very much higher than the UK average, which I'm sure we're going to be touching on, very later on in the conversation.
Yeah, that's actually, you took the words right out of my mouth. So let's look at the average, Andrew, the average real estate transaction. What is the average sales price? And then what is the average commission?
So overall in the whole UK market, the average price of a whole UK home is £200,000. We're to convert it, I'm not surely in US terms, probably 160, 175, depending on the conversion rate, but that's the UK average price.
Okay.
And when it comes to commissions, we can have high street estate agents only getting 1%, which what makes it difficult for us proactive agents at Title Nash Real Estate, where it's actually so hard to, tell them why our fee is worth our time and our value. Because our one, for example, is, the owner of our brokerage, Title Nash, he says anything less than 2%, do not take it on. It's not worth our time. It's not worth your marketing. It's not worth your efforts, driving everything. So obviously the high street estate agents has got a budget for marketing in-house and everything, but we independent self-employed agents have to pay for everything that we do. Hence why our commissions are a lot higher at 2.5%, me personally at 3%, because, I like my return on time, which I probably appreciate, is my return on time when it comes to doing transactions on a deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So there's so much to unpack there. So is there only one real estate agent in a transaction or 2?
So when it comes to a transaction on its own, it's only one agent.
All right. So you get the listing and
Yep.
You go out there and you bring the buyer directly, and the buyers have no representation. They don't have an agent like they do in the US, correct?
And that's very different. I know in the States, if you find a buyer's agent, they get 3% as well off the purchase price, which
Yes.
the buyer can pay, but the seller pays. And that's something the UK does not have at all.
So who pays the real estate commission in the UK? The seller?
The seller.
And there's only one agent. And
Correct.
okay, now I'm with you. All right, now I want to talk about value proposition.
Okay.
So the consumer has a decision to make. They can work with an independent agent like you, which it sounds like that might be 2 or 3% commission, or they can go work with a salary type agent at an estate agency for 1%. Is that accurate so far?
Yeah, that's very much a good overview. Correct.
All right, now, so from the framework, Andrew, of the homeowner, the seller, what's the value of them going each direction from your perspective?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, even watching through one of your examples you have on YouTube, I think you had like a live, I don't know whether it was role play or was real, but I think it was 100% real, where you talked him through a listing presentation and you talked to him about pricing strategy. Here in the UK, 99% of sellers, if you tell them we want to work on a pricing strategy, they will absolutely be terrified. They think whatever you price it at, that's how much they're going to be getting. Which is what a lot of the high street estate agents do. They listen to the seller and then they say, okay, how much you want to market it for? And all they're doing is using them to market a property. What we like to do is we like to price it not independently, but in competition with what the market has to offer, which is what we need to educate the sellers every time we have what we call a market appraisal. So that's the kind of difference we have here.
So yeah,
yes.
makes total sense. So if I'm hearing you right, if I'm a real estate agent in the UK, and I go the independent route and I'm talking and I'm prospecting to the homeowner, the value that you're saying is the approach you're going to take is more of an aggressive marketing approach to potentially get them more money for their house versus working with an agent at an estate where, they're kind of more relaxed or sitting back, just more of like a order taker, like a waiter or a waitress. And so they potentially could get more money by using you. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct. So actually what happens is that when it comes to the other estate agents, what they do is that they just wait for somebody to ring them and call them.
Got it. There it is.
What you and I like to do is that we like to, find the potential buyers. We might like to door knock to invite them to what you guys call as well as an open house. Here in the UK, we can only call it viewing day because of COVID regulations.
Yes.
In comparison to what an estate agent does, all they do is wait for somebody to call, they get a viewing, they pop in the viewing and they leave. What we like to do is we like to create that competitive edge where other buyers can see there's other buyers interested, so they can potentially outbid each other to give us the premium price, which the seller thinks, wow, I've never seen this approach before. This is very forward, innovative thinking. And it's an untapped market.
Oh, wow. I mean, that is such a massive opportunity. Now I get why you're so excited, because you're right. I mean, hiring you, and you guys charge 3%, correct?
I personally charge 3%. People in the brokerage have said I've kind of broken the rule that it's only 2.5%, but because I'm an investor and I understand my knowledge, I've paid lots and lots of thousands of pounds for my property knowledge. I think it's you and I both agree, Brandon, that we need to value how much, because we don't like to think that we're not here for the time. We're here to bring the value every time we go to a listing, every time we speak to a seller.
Yeah, I mean, because here's the reality, and hopefully you share this with people at your brokerage. If you're interviewing with a seller to get a listing, all you need to use is a simple script. And here's what it sounds like. If I was going to role play with you and get you to pay me a 3%, even a 4% commission in the UK versus 1%, it'd be simple. And here's what I would say. Andrew, listen, at the end of the day, I mean, you care how much money you put in your pocket, net bottom line, regardless of how much you pay in commission. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
And so to take that a step further, if you paid me a 4% commission versus another company 1%, but the amount of money I got you in your pocket was significantly more than the other company would get you, that's something you would be open to doing. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
So these are simple scripts, because here's the reality. Anybody, any human being on earth, the cost is a byproduct of the value, period. So we are willing to pay more for something based on our perceived value. So what you have to do at your company, which I love, is working on your presentation and the value you provide so that you can position yourself as the obvious choice that the seller says, wait a minute, you do all of that it's a no-brainer for us to pay more if you can get us more for that. And that's what you've been working on. Is that right?
That's exactly correct. That's exactly, every time we have a market appraisal, we need to explain to them the step-by-step process. And you do this very well in your YouTube videos, and I admire you for it. When I'm showing them a market appraisal, I'm already acting as if I am their listing agent, telling them exactly what we're going to do together, side by side, as if we're already planning how we're going to market their property. That's exactly what I love to do. That's exactly things I've taken away just from your YouTube videos. And so I can imagine your students must be absolutely loving the support, the network, the accountability, compared to what the UK have, where estate agents are just having a phone call, they're reading a script, and they're just waiting for somebody to call, which I absolutely love, which I think we need to take to the UK 100%.
Yeah, that's phenomenal, man. What a great opportunity, Andrew, you really have. So let's talk about the how you're generating listing business. So give me kind of some of the ways that we can communicate with homeowners directly that potentially are selling their homes. Like, do you have for sale by owners and stuff like that?
So obviously first when I saw YouTube videos, I didn't know what a FSBO. It took me a very long time. I watched a couple of videos and then I figured, oh, okay. So in the UK, it's what we call Gumtree. Gumtree can actually find agents list their properties. However, there's some people on a private. And obviously, some of your scripts saying, I understand a lot of realtors might be calling you, and you have a lot of those lines. I've actually just implemented the same thing. And what I love, I think one of the key learnings I got from your video was when you said, when you have a pattern interrupt. In the UK, if you do a pattern interrupt, they're over the moon. When I said the line, I think it was the other day from your script, thinking with the property being so hot right now, I think you'll be able to sell your property on your own. Does that sound like a really good plan? And they were like, yeah. And they changed their moods. In the UK, they're very, very, so in my opinion, they're very cold compared to the US. US are very open, invited. They'll have a conversation with you. In the UK, if they can tell you're an agent, they instantly want to hang up the phone. So you're
a salesperson. They don't want to hear from you. You pose a massive threat to them. So keep going. Yep. So you're using a pattern interrupt, and you're using the scripts and the dialogues that we call reverse selling to help position yourself as a potential appointment. So let me ask you, so Gumtree, is that like a website, or is that like a real estate term?
No, it's a website where people sell, old items. It's like a private website. Free. So it's obviously anything you advertise online on Gumtree, it's completely free. So when the sellers pop it up in there, it's completely free. Because when you want to pop it up on our other portals, which is called Rightmove or Zoopla, they have to ask an agent to put up there and pay. But if they put it on Gumtree or even Facebook Marketplace, they have a chance to post it there privately, directly to a seller.
All right. So if you can, I would love for you to share your screen. Do you have your computer in a spot where you can share your screen and show us Gumtree a little bit?
Yeah. Just bear with me.
Yep, no problem. I will. And you know how to share your screen here on Zoom?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. I would love to see this, because now I'm getting excited to get into the UK market and help you agents go out there and dominate.
So hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah.
So let's see these properties.
There we go. So this is literally a free ad. Here you go, London. And if you go over here, private. So I already automatically did it. You can see.
Absolutely. Yes.
In private. So there's an estate agency, but then there's a private tab.
And now show me. So these are all essentially people selling their own homes with no real estate agent, correct?
That is correct. And I can assure you a lot of agents are trying to, contact these sellers. So you can see there's a property here. This is 500.
Terrible pictures. Do you guys do professional photos when you list a property?
Do professional photos, professional videos, everything.
Yes.
But this shows that the landlord was just trying to save money.
That's right.
Which is why they want to save agency fees so that they can sell their own property for absolutely as much price as possible. Which is why we need to come in and explain to them why, even if they sell with us, they'll still receive the highest net figure.
That's right. All right. So this is great, dude. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. So, all right. So let's jump out of the screen share now. So tell me, do you have access to, so we're going to talk about door knocking in a second. Do you have access to call homeowners directly in the UK?
No, we don't. we're not in that technology at the moment. So the best thing we found there was Gumtree. And if you sign up to Gumtree, which is again free, you can find their number online already.
So there's no way for you to find homeowners' numbers right now in the UK outside of Gumtree.
The best thing you can do is go on what you call land registry, find who owns the property, and then send them. If I had an example, send them a mail directly,
Yes.
and then that's the best thing we can do. We can't find their details because in the UK we have GDPR, where if you find people's information, it's kind of against the law here in the UK.
Okay, got it. So there's no such thing as like direct outbound phone prospecting in the UK for any industries, no businesses ever?
Not that I'm personally aware of, not at the minute, no.
All right. So that opens the door then for door knocking, right? So how many agents are door knocking these homeowners on Gumtree or, well, let's talk about door knocking. How many real estate agents in the UK actually door knock on a consistent basis?
Well, in the UK, it's very hard for me to say because
Sure.
in our brokerage, we have a target where we have to door knock minimum 100 properties every month. So let's say that's 25 a week. And I think
Every agent, all 70 of the real estate agents?
correct.
Good for you. Good for your broker. I like that.
Everybody's being held accountable. Even right now, I'm quite in a tough position where I've only done 90 and I'm meant to be doing 100, but my car broke down.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys are door knocking. How do you choose where you door knock and what neighborhoods you go after?
Yeah, so the first is a neighborhood is where every agent can in our brokerage can see who's in what area. So obviously we want to come across professional because in brokerage, if somebody knocks and you don't get an appointment, someone else in that brokerage can still knock. But we want to sound professional, say, I understand my colleague came by the other day, but we just wanted to personally check on and how's the sale going for you? Because a seller might click with somebody else instead of us. And obviously there's no personal feelings with business kind of business. But when we're looking for properties, we go on a portal, but I personally go on a portal called Rightmove. Rightmove is the most popular online portal marketing platform for all agents, for buyers and sellers. When we go on the platform called Rightmove, we look for what is the oldest dated, so oldest listed. It's been in the market for a very long time because clearly that strategy with that agent is clearly not working. And that's when we step in and say, would you be open to hearing a very new, diverse, innovative approach on how we sell properties in a certain amount of time?
Wait, hold on. Boop. So you can door knock a property that's listed with another company?
Yes, I'm guessing in the States you're not allowed to do that.
That's totally against the law. Like once a property is listed with an agent or a company, it's off limits. You can't call them. You can't do anything.
That makes sense because I think when you guys advertise your property, you guys say the full address when you're doing a video tour or something.
Yes.
We need to hide it because we know other people might try and step on our toes.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. There's some opportunity here. But when you're marketing it, because you want the buyer to call you direct, then you release the property address once you have a potential buyer. Is that right?
Correct. So obviously in a confirmation, email confirmation text.
Yeah.
Yeah, we send them the full address, but while it's being advertised on online portals, we say it's only Smith Road here in London. So we don't say it's number 10 Smith Road. We only give them the street name. Maybe. So that's where we have to do a lot of digging, where we need to look at the photo, we need to look at the outside, look which house number can it be? Is it been in the market since 2020? Okay, that's a potential property we can door knock.
That is phenomenal. I mean, that opens up such a big opportunity. What is the average days on market in your local market? How long does it take to sell a house on average?
So in our brokerage, 80% of our listings sell within 30 days.
Got it.
Live in the market. But in the UK, it completely varies from location to location.
Yes.
At the moment, I'm taking on a new area. I'm pretty sure you've heard of Cambridge.
Yes.
So at the minute in Cambridge, there's two different variants. It's either if a property sits in the market for 2 months, right now, because the market's quite hot, it's selling. But then there's this other one where if it's been more in the market for more than 3 months, clearly they're more motivated, and two, they need a new approach. And that's where we step in.
I love it. Makes total sense.
Right now, it's two different dynamics where it's either really, really hot or if it's been a long market for a long time, they need a fresh approach.
So are there any real estate agents in the UK making, 100,000 plus pounds or £1 million plus pounds? Is there any real estate agents that make that kind of money?
So I know in our brokerage, some of the agents in Tyrannash Real Estate has been in the business for over, I think the business is quite young, for over a year. I know some of them has banked £63,000 in the month of Feb.
In the month.
That's in the month of Feb alone. Their predictions
Yeah.
So I think maybe if we were to pause it a little bit, in the UK, we kind of do selling process, and we do obviously buyer's agreement, what we call a sales memorandum, and then we do an exchange, and then we do a completion. So there's kind of different stages. So
that process of the real estate transaction, how long does that entire process take between selling the house and the new buyer moving in?
So there's two different types. If they're a cash buyer, it can be as fast as 21 to 28 days. If it's a mortgage purchase, it can take between 2 to 3 months from start to finish.
Got it.
From the process of getting a sale agreed.
Got it. Okay. So man, there's so many opportunities. Now let's talk about, so you have people that are selling their own homes. You have homes that are listed with other agents for a long period of time. That's another way to go get listings. What about, are there I'm sure there's hot neighborhoods in your market where properties tend to sell quickly. Are you knocking the doors of those homeowners that are not yet raised their hand? Are you going after those at all?
So actually, and to that note, if we get a listing, for example, in, let's say, I'll use Cambridge as an example, because that's kind of my new kind of area. If I get a listing in Cambridge, what we do is that we like to knock on properties between 20 to 30 properties, either smaller or bigger, who are planning to upsize. So what we do is like, hello, sir, don't need to disturb you. My name is Andrew from Tyrannash, and I just wanted to give you this invitation to, let you know we have a property down the road. If you know anybody looking to upsize or downsize, depending on the house, what that does is it breaks the ice so that we can have a conversation later on towards the end of the dialogue where, do you currently know where your property is sitting in the market, or would you like to have a chat and we can tell you more about it? So that's how we kind of break the ice. We don't like to knock on a door where there's no reason why there is, unless it's sitting on the market. So if it's somebody living in the house with no intentions to sell, if we have no reasons to knock, then we wouldn't normally knock on it.
Got it. All right. So I like that strategy. And are you guys doing, I forgot what you call it. Are you doing open houses now with the whole COVID stuff, or are those off limits right now?
So actually what we're doing is viewing day. So it's block viewing. So maybe between 2 hours, we do 15-minute slots. I know that my senior manager recently, he did a viewing last Sunday, and he had 97 people booked for a viewing. So 10-minute slots. Just because of our pricing strategy worked, and he sold it, I think 50% above the asking price.
That's great.
As well. So he had 97 people booked. I think only from the first day, he had 47, just under 50 people came in. And just from that first day, somebody really gave him above and beyond the asking price. That's exceeded the seller's expectations.
And that's where it makes sense for them to hire you over the estate agent, which makes so much sense because of that approach. Now, going back to door knocking the neighborhood, are you guys inviting them to the viewing times?
Absolutely, because if you think psychologically as a buyer, if they see there's more people interested in that property, that helps us as a seller create that competitive edge to make sure that they need to give the highest net figure when it comes to negotiation fees.
Well, here's the other thing. The other thing there, Andrew, is that the neighbor that we invite to the viewing, it's called a viewing time. Is that what, am I saying that right?
Yeah, so we have a viewing day. I mean, once
viewing
COVID
day,
passes, we can call it open day. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we invite, I'm just thinking through this for you. When you invite the neighbor to viewing day, not only does it help provide urgency for the buyers, but this is your ability to build a relationship with that homeowner so that when they sell one day, that begins your interview process. They say, wow, I want an agent to handle the sale of my home the way you're handling this person's home. And so then you could put them into your database. You can follow up, provide them value over the next couple of months, couple of years, so that the day when they want to sell their home, you get the listing 100% of the time. Are you guys doing anything like that?
I fully agree. And actually what we've done is that every time we've door knocked and properties have been in the market, sometimes, it happens, it's human nature. Some people just slam the door in their faces. However, once we get a listing in that area, we like to go back to the door and be like, hey, we're not here to sell you anything again. We're not here to tell you we want to list your property. All we want to do is invite you to, an open day or a viewing day, so you can see why we get 20 to 30 viewings per property around your neighborhood. So again, we're trying to break the ice, give them a better reason why, we believe we're the fastest growing agent to work for you to sell your property eventually. Because if it's still sitting in the market, who would they be thinking first? Hopefully it'll be us.
So that's great. Here's another strategy I'm wondering if you guys are doing now is, so through your marketing, you're generating buyers, right? And now you sell a listing to a specific buyer, but many times that specific listing isn't the right home. So are you guys taking that specific buyer, creating a marketing campaign with direct mail and door knocking around a neighborhood for the buyer? Are you guys doing anything like that right now?
So what we believe is that we can find, obviously from a business perspective, if we can find the product, there's going to be so many buyers, because obviously you're probably in the States as well. The demand is so high right now to buy houses. Right. So I think for us, I think we have a more focus on finding the properties, and the buyers, obviously we put them in a database, we give them the criteria they're looking for. However, what I personally do as well is that I would still draft letters saying we have buyers in your local area, looking for your kind of home. Would you ever consider the property? So obviously, I know you probably understand, I've got active listings, and obviously what you call kind of passive, where if I have Instagram posts, Facebook posts, and even mail being delivered while I am actively knocking on doors, I'm creating a high opportunity to get more listings and more, obviously, potentially more sales in the future. So it's like a compound effect.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it because you can go to a neighborhood that are not listed, and just to your point, say, listen, we're working with Mr. and Mrs. Jones. They're pre-approved for this amount. They're looking for a house just like yours. And I'm curious if you've heard of anybody thinking about selling. And so that's great. You guys are already doing that too. That's awesome. All right, so cool. So talk to me about, like, what are your goals for 2021? Like, what are you looking to accomplish? And I want to talk about what your plan is to grow your business moving forward.
Yeah, so actually at the very start of 2021, I told myself and my team that, I'm aiming to sell 10 million pounds worth of property. So obviously I started off the year running fully independent. So here's kind of a backstory. I started to run my own estate agency. I used to run it, sell everything on my own. But it got to a stage where, I'm pretty sure Mark Cumin. Yeah. I've been speaking to a lot of brokerages, asking them for their opinion, their model, what's their background. And it got to a stage where I thought, okay, 50% of a watermelon is better than 100% of a grape. So I partnered with an agency to get 50% of commission. And obviously that, to me, accelerates selling 10 million pounds worth of property by the end of 2021. So obviously with that mentorship, with that connect group, with all the within the company, I thought that is just so much more motivational to ensure that you perform even better than what you've done alone.
I love it. So 10 million pounds, that would pay you, if you're getting 2 or 3%, that's like 300,000 pounds, correct?
Correct. If I get 100% sale rate. But in the UK, you have 1 out of 3 property sale falls through. That can come down to the valuation. That can come down to the buyers pulling out, or even the sellers pulling out. So
or inspections, right?
Yeah. So obviously that comes down to our valuation. So actually, it's actually intriguing. What do you mean by Obviously, that's something I love to learn a little bit. What do you mean by inspections?
So when the buyer says, okay, Andrew, I'd like to write an offer to the seller, do they have the ability to bring in somebody to look at the property condition before they fulfill that contract? Do they look at the roof and the windows and the foundation and everything before they buy it?
That's actually what we call a surveys report, where that's part of the commitment fee that the buyer would need to pay.
Yes.
Where, searches to see, the build of the property is safe, everything's compliant. So yes, that's part of the initial stages before even going to the stage of exchange.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I love it, man. So 10 million in real estate sold. That's so cool, man. What I'd like to do is do this again with you in the next 6 to 12 months and kind of share the audience, like what all these strategies and tactics we just talked about, how things are working. And, I like to get more involved with potentially your brokerage in the UK market. So you let me know how I can help. Let's absolutely stay in communication with each other. And if I can help in any way get you to your goal of 10 million, dude, I'd love the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, no, I'm actually honored. I mean, let alone your scripts. I think obviously I've looked into it. I need to obviously make it more bespoke to the UK, because you have very different terms that we don't use here in the UK. But I think the steps, your scripts, the bottom line, the foundation of everything you have there is so fundamental, which I think people in the UK are completely missing. So obviously when in the brokerage, the director of the brokerage, I shared him the link of your MA role play. He sent it straight to the whole team, and it was a great learning curve because it's hard. It's, obviously I'm a former Olympian.
Oh,
So,
cool.
it's easy to read a book. It's easy to watch the videos, but the best way to learn is to get out there and physically and, get out there and really do it, because that's the only way you can actually learn what's your strengths, what your weaknesses, what you need to work on. And so getting your script was brilliant and helps me gain knowledge. To me, implementing everything I've learned from your scripts, from my mentor, Tara Nash himself, he's, and obviously the team, everything they teach me, I need to implement it 100%.
Yeah, I love it, dude. That's what I always tell my students in my coaching program. The learning is in the doing. Yeah. We can sit here and talk about, this and that, but until you get out there and start doing and applying it, that's when the learning actually starts to occur. So I love it, dude. Let me ask you this. What feedback or advice would you give to a brand new real estate agent, whether they be in the UK or the US, someone just getting started as a real estate agent? What advice would you leave them with?
I think if I was brand new, I think I did it, and I think I'm really proud I've done it, was that what you want to do is you want to find your end goal. Think about what you want to achieve by, let's say, 12 months, and then reverse engineer everything you want to do so that by the time you want to start, you kind of know where to begin. Because obviously when you're brand new to being a real estate agent, for instance, you get overwhelmed with, I want to do videos, I want to do X, Y, and Z. But I think if you have an end goal in mind, you would reverse engineer it down to 9 months to 6 months to 3 months to 1 month to 1 week. You will have a better productive time in everything you do, prospecting and ensuring you can make sure your business is where you want to be by the time in 12 months. I think that is the best way to reverse engineer and get things from start to finish more effectively. I hope you agree. Do you agree? So I'm now using
100% agree. Dude, I mean, it's like Stephen Covey says, begin with the end in mind and then work your way backwards, reverse engineer it, build a plan. Dude, it's great advice, because too many real estate agents, to your point, get into this business. They have shiny object syndrome. They want to do all kinds of crap. They want to be famous and they want to make videos and Instagram. They do everything, Andrew, but the real work of prospecting and generating leads and generating business, because they have no plan. And so that's great advice, dude. I'm looking forward to watching your career continue to grow. Appreciate you jumping on with me today, man. Let's keep it rocking and rolling.
Thanks so much, Brandon. Thank you so much for bringing me on time to see me. Well,
absolutely. Yeah, dude. Feel free to share this with your brokerage. And you know what, too? I'm going to leave you with this, Andrew. I would be more than happy to do some role play sessions with the agents at your brokerage. So talk to your owner about that. And if they think that will help your agents, I'd be happy to do a couple of Zoom sessions with your company, and we could do some skills-based strategy sessions on scripts and the actual listing presentation to dial that in for you guys, because I love what your company's doing. I think it makes all the sense in the world. And I think that'd be a lot of fun. And I think your team would get a lot of value out of that.
100%. I mean, we came from, I don't know, like less than, I think we was like 10 people last year. Now we're about up to 70. And then obviously there's another recruitment webinar tomorrow night where we're looking to, acquire more agents in the business. So that alone is a huge gift. And obviously in behalf of I want to thank you already in advance for even considering to help us agents, spending your time, through your scripts, through your knowledge you already have and your years of expertise. So we do appreciate 100%.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. So let's talk more on Instagram. Let's get that scheduled. And I think that will help you guys recruit more agents too, by the way. But thank you so much, man. And I'll look forward to the next time we do some collaboration work.
Thank you so much, Brandon. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.